All right, Shalom. I'd like to start out by saying Ka Halayim La Yehovah, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakakwadash Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing this truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right. You see with the article title, what I'm about to go through, Lord willing, is edifying and serves purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, this is another trick of the trade for Esau, man. You knew it was coming. So the FDA approves the first scissor for dealing with this virus. All right. I'm not going to read too much on this article because, it just has scissor all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So just bear with me as I jumble through this. But there's been plenty of things that have been approved by the FDA that should not have been approved. There's plenty of things that are approved by the FDA in America, and they are outlawed and banned in other countries. All right, so this approval from the FDA really proves nothing but what it is, that the devil is a liar. And this is another one of Esau's wicked devices to entrap the people, man. Creating a chaotic situation and trying to create order out of chaos by implementing fear into the public and into the people by using the media and getting people to conform to their ways, man. And that's all this is, man. It's just a trap for those that have no covering, for those that don't believe in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. This is what this is a trap for them. All right, so I want to go into a couple scriptures, and I got this article of all these different things. I'll put this article right here in the description box, Lord willing, so you can read it and get into detail on what they're talking about with the whole pandemic scissor being FDA approved, the first one. The first one being Pfizer BioNTech. So yeah. So I mean, this approval really means nothing, but just goes to show how the devious and devilish Esau really is with his lies, man. He was a father of lies. If when he speak of a lie, he speak it of his own. All right. So this is just another way to try to fool the people, and that's all he's about, the mystery of iniquity. I'm going to get this scripture real quick. All right. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And it says, let no man deceive you by any means. All right. It says, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, right? And that man of sin that's being revealed is Esau, man. And what he was talking about was Titus and Vespasian right there, because that when that falling away happened in 70 A.D., that was Paul. And Yahweh Shai prophesied about it too. He says, when you see the abomination that maketh the desolate, spoken of by Daniel, head for the hills. And if I'm not mistaken, Yahweh Shai was talking about 70 A.D. When he was saying, pray that your flight be not during on the Sabbath day or in the winter. All right, so he was talking about the rise of the Roman Empire, pagan Roman Empire, with Titus and Vespasian overthrowing Jerusalem in 70 A.D. All right, and that's when at that point, we were scattered around, and then from thence we went into our captivity. All right, so it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and a man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Right. So, all right. So this is the revelation of who that is. All right. Being Esau. All right. So we fell away in 70 A.D. All right. And they were sent out to go into perdition. All right. It says, verse 4. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Right. So I just read that verbatim just to show you the the motive behind what this devil does. That's the whole motive, because his head is lifted up because he speaks of himself as being a god, just like Alexander the Great did, the creep. All right, just like Antiochus the Fourth did, and so on and so forth. Right. So now, knowing that the falling away is going to reveal the man of sin. Right. So that was the Roman Empire. So now, what is America trying to do right now? Pushing the same values as the Holy Roman Empire or the pagan Roman Empire. All right. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast cometh up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Right. The draconian measures that they'll take to push their agenda, and the division in between America. You have two Americas right now. To be honest with you, you have first, of course, you have Democratic and Republic, but they're dividing America like crazy right now. All right, but all in all, the point is right here, verse 12. It says, and the draconian measures, the draconian laws that they put forth, these mandates that they put forth to try to push their enterprise. All right, and I want to get something real quick. Let me get Isaiah. Chapter 10. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they have prescribed." Right? They're writing all these mandates which are not case law and try to force in these things on the people. And making them feel like they don't have any choice. That's the draconian measures that they push, like the same way Rome used to do, man. All right, the same exact way Rome used to do, man. All right, and it says to turn aside the needy from judgment, right, and to take away the right from the poor. All right, the right from the poor of his people, right? We have rights as being earthly born human beings created by the Father, right? We have rights, but Esau try to make you feel like you don't have any rights. All right, and it says to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's what they do, man. All right. So going back into Revelation chapter 13, verse 12, it says, "And he exercises all the power," and this is talking about that beast that came up with the two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon. It says, "He exercises all power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." So now, understanding and knowing that, knowing the values that America's pushing is going back to the pagan Roman Empire. That's why it's the same thing as Rome. It's set up like Rome, the Senate, all right, the judicial system. That's exactly how Rome was set up. So now, everything was put in place. All these policies and these mandates and these policies and mandates are put forth, all right, to perform their enterprise. But Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to put a stop to that, all right, for all these unrighteous decrees, okay? All right, and it says, let me get back to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. It says 2 and 3 again. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." Right. So now, understanding that man that be revealed as the son of perdition, that's going to be the rise of the Roman Empire, Greco-Roman Empire, which is Edom. All right. And you're seeing the same fashion of that today with the European Union, NATO, and America. All right. It says, "Who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself to be God." And that's exactly what they did with the Renaissance period, covering the faces of the saints. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right, so they try to put forth all these different policies and things like that to coerce the people, which is witchcraft and sorcery, to make the people feel like they don't have any choice but to abide by whatever he says. All right, so now when he says the things, it's now, because a lot of the people objection to the scissor, the lean, was because of it's not FDA approved. All right, now they have FDA approval. They want to see a spike in people on the lean. All right, drinking the scissor. So they want to see an increase. I think right now it's like 65% of all Americans, 75% of all, something like that are, got the double cup. Some only have single cups, but right. So now they expect to see those numbers increase because of this now being FDA approved. But there are so many things that are on the market that are banned in other countries that are approved by the FDA that shouldn't be. All right. So a quick testimony. At my job, I deal with international logistics, domestic and international logistics. So I had a truck pull up on Friday, and he had a hazmat placard on his truck. I'm like, okay, you have, and the pallets that he needed to drop off to us were behind the hazmat material. His truck was loaded up all messed up, but that's a different story. All right, so now he was like, so I had to pull the hazardous material off the truck to get to our the product that we needed. So I noticed the smell was very sweet, and I'm like, yo, and each of these pallets were like weighed like 1,000 pounds each pallet, like literally over like 1,500, 2,000 pounds, damn near a ton. All right, that's how heavy they were, right? So, and it was smelling kind of good, and I'm like, yo, what is this? He's like, you don't even want to know. I'm like, what? Yeah, no, tell me what it is. So the driver was like, listen, you see the hazardous material for corrosion placard on here, right? I'm like, yeah. He said, this is the stuff that we put in our body when we drink our drinks. I'm like, for real? And he said, when it says flavoring on the side, these are the products that make the flavoring of the juices and sodas and drinks that we drink, that we consume on a regular basis. And I'm like, get out of here. And it said corrosive material on it. And these products are FDA approved. And he went on to say that Coca-Cola trucks and Pepsi trucks should have the same placard, but they have so much money invested into the FDA and other organizations, so where they don't have to abide by certain rules and regulations. So rules and regulations can be bent and broken all according to who wants to allow them to be. So with that being said, the FDA approval of the scissor really doesn't mean anything because they have a bunch of poisonous, hazardous materials that are harmful to the human body that are approved by the FDA. All right. So knowing that, going back to the scriptures, this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 5. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know that withholdeth. Now you know that what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time, and his time is now. So the revelation of this devil and his wicked works are being revealed by the true men of the Lord, because the true men of the Lord are not ignorant of Satan's wicked devices. It says how all the things that Esau searched out, all right, through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, all right. Verse 7, so this is the time of the revelation of who the mystery of iniquity is. It says, verse 7, it says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So when Paul was speaking at that time, Paul was in Rome from time to time. Paul was talking about not necessarily Agrippa, but he was talking about the Greco-Roman Empire that was being established at that time. So which converted all the way into the Roman Empire. All right. So that's what Paul was talking about, being Esau being a mystery of iniquity. But in these times, he's going to be revealed. All right. It says, verse 8. So it's up to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai to take him out of the way. All right. Let me get a scripture real quick. Let me get Job. Job chapter 20, verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. We just spoke about him exalting himself as if he's a god, but Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to put a stop to him. Yet he shall perish like forever, like his own dung. they which have seen him shall say, where is he? All right. So he's gonna perish. Like the triumphing for wicked of the wicked is only but for a short moment. All right. Let me see. There's another one I wanted to get. I thought it was, or was it? All right. I was looking for the one saying he has set the bounds that he cannot surpass. Well, regardless, I'll just go ahead and quote it. He said, if somebody could put it in the group, in the comments, so I'll know next time. I thought I knew it, but anyway, scripture roughly paraphrased and said, Yahweh Shem Yahushai has set the bounds that he cannot surpass. So with that being said, going back to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 7, it says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So the Most High has a set bound or a certain level of wickedness and that he wants this devil to accomplish. And within that, during that time period, the Lord's going to be exposing him. All right. And showing the whole world who this wicked root is, the devil. All right. Verse 9, it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they all might be saved. Right. So they found pleasure in unrighteousness and made a covenant with death, by being opening their eyes to the things of Esau and closing their eyes to the things of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, so the thing that was presented to them to be a help for them is going to ultimately be their hurt, and the thing that is they feel like is a help for them is ultimately going to be their hurt. All right. So yeah, and that's just what it is. They found pleasure in unrighteousness and found displeasure in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says. Verse 9 again, it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of righteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they all might be saved. And for this cause, Yahweh will send them a strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. All right, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. All right. And that's 2/3 of our people. So the Lord is going to choose their delusion and keep them in the spirit of derision, to where they'll bend their back down all way until they be destroyed. All right. So going into this article real quick, it says 5 things, and I just picked this one real quick. It says 5 things the FDA never should have approved. All right. So now let's go into some of the things that are approved by the FDA that really shouldn't, that are harmful for the body, man. So approval of the FDA just means nothing. All right. And it says, I feel like the more I learn about the food system in America, the more I feel confused and disconnected from what I'm even eating. There are so many additives and chemicals in our foods today, and it makes it seem impossible to find a simple, naturally grown item. And that's true, because everything is GMO for the most part. And there are agricultural laws that permits permits or doesn't allow individuals to grow a certain amount of their own food. All right, it says, the Food and Drug Administration approves all foods that are sold in our grocery stores in the United States. They're supposed to be making sure foods are safe for us to eat. But honestly, they have approved some sketchy shit that is actually banned in other countries. Here are some of the outright terrible foods that the FDA should have never approved. Partially hydrogenated oil. Partially hydrogenated oils are made from liquid oils and chemicals that are added to make them solid at room temperature. These oils are in tons of packages of baked foods in grocery stores and often used in fried foods at restaurants. These oils create a dreaded trans fats that are incredibly terrible for our body. These fats also increase your probability of getting heart disease and are the most harmful fats in our foods. Many foods companies are removing partially hydrogenated oils from their products, but FDA still has yet to ban them. There goes one. All right, we're going to go through 5 of these. It says foods containing flame retardants. All right. What's flame retardants? All right. It says brominated vegetable oil, BVO, is added to some drinks such as Mountain Dew to enhance the citrus flavor. BVO has also been used by other companies as a flame retardant in plastic. The chemical blocks receptors in your body, which can lead to endocrine problems, reproductive problems, and more. This chemical has been banned in other countries, but is approved by the FDA. Do your insides a favor and stay clear of drinks with brominated vegetable oil listed in ingredients. Olein or olestra in fat-free foods. It says Olein is an additive in many packaged foods that are fat-free. This chemical is very toxic because it inhibits our body's ability to absorb the essential vitamins that do great things for our health. The body doesn't know how to process this ingredient, and consumption could lead to loose bowel movements. And also, no one doesn't want that. No. It says number 4, caramel coloring. So these are some of the things that are approved by the FDA that are still harmful for the body. So FDA approval really doesn't mean anything. All right. All right. It says caramel coloring is found in soft drinks, beer, and some packaged foods. According to one source, it contains a chemical that can increase the risk of cancer in humans. Caramel coloring is the most used food coloring in the world despite its risks. Many companies are trying to stop using this ingredient in their foods and drinks, but it is still approved by the FDA. Once again, make sure to look at food labels and stay away from things that have caramel coloring. And last but not least is RBGH in dairy. All right. RBGH stands for recombinant bovine growth hormone. It is given to cows to increase their milk production. According to the American Cancer Society, this hormone has the potential to increase the risk of cancer in humans. Although more research still needs to be completed, the hormone also causes other infections in cows. The FDA approved RBGH in 1993, even though it is banned in Europe, in the European Union, Canada, and other countries. All right. At the end of the day, we just can't trust. Man, listen. We just can't trust that everything sold in grocery stores is safe for us to eat. It is up to us to look at foods, labels, and make sure we're not buying foods with these additives in it. So the key part on the closing on this article is trust. All right. You can't trust. All right. Especially when it's coming from Esau, man, which is the devil. All right. So I want to close it out with this scripture right here. And I want to get Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right, so now, of course, we have to read labels and find out the ingredients that are put in these different foods and different drugs. That it's the Food and Drug Administration. So they have control over what goes in our body, and that's what they're trying to do, have total control of what goes on in our body. That's what Esau is trying to do. That's what the system is trying to do. All right, verse 10. Sirach 12 and 10, it says, never trust thine enemy, for like iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Right. So then, if you thoroughly investigate what this devil is doing, you'll see the wickedness behind and in his intentions behind what he's trying to do. All right. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overtaken thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit in thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. That's what he's trying to do. Prick everybody. All right. So one that goeth to, it says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such come nigh wild beast? So right, who's gonna pity a charmer that's bitten by a serpent? You know, is bitten by a serpent. Like, you're around here playing with this devil, and he's telling you he's a snake, and he goes and bites you, and you're gonna look around like, what did you bite me for? Because I'm a snake, and that was the first thing that Trump talked about when he came into office. All right. It says, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sinners, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, and that's the point. He's speaking sweetly with his lips, and that's sweet. That's a sweet talk right there, by trying to make the people feel more comfortable by saying that the syrup is FDA approved. All right. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit, and he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. All right. And that's the point, man. You know, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. And that's the whole purpose of them coming out with this, saying that this thing is FDA approved, man. All right. It's not to help the people. They got plenty of things. I just read 5 of them. It's abundance of things that are poisonous to us that are approved by the FDA. All right. With that being said, I'd like to say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Harikakwadash Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, and my elder Herawan as well. Salutation to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, shalom.